Alright, so Spirit, what does the collective need to know? Ooh. Alright, so Spirit, what does the collective need to know? Alright, so Spirit. Well, right away, I feel like Spirit is saying that not only are you divinely protected, thank you for the follow. Not only are you divinely guided and protected, but you're also being celebrated by the divine for your ability. Excuse me. Excuse me. You're being celebrated by the divine for your ability to navigate challenges, navigate people coming against you. It's given the energy of like people taking your kindness for weakness. And when you actually finally stood up for yourself, it was a wrap for everybody. And everybody was like, what the fuck just happened? So, when it's kind of like it's giving the energy of someone who secretly knows how to do jujitsu or some shit. Like I was hearing jujitsu, but it doesn't have to be. It could be somebody. It could be any kind of martial art. It could be boxing. But it's giving the energy of just somebody like, and this is interesting because Spirit was telling me to title the message "Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover." And I was going back and forth because I was like, should we just judge a book by its cover? Or shouldn't we judge a book by its cover? And I kept hearing, don't judge a book by its cover. But I also feel like, to an extent, people cover themselves with how they present to the world. So, for instance, Spirit has really wanted me to talk about some spiritualists. And I don't like to, because I don't like when people talk shit about me, but I mean, it is what it is. So, Spirit was basically talking about how people talk to their collective. So, when people hold themselves out to be a shaman, a spiritualist, a reader, a spirit guide, an earth angel, all of these different things. And shamans are very calm, they're very respectful, they're very deliberate, they're direct, and they not gonna play no games with you, but they're not rude and nasty. There's a fine line sometimes. You said what? Hey, you said, why can't I hear God? Well, I mean, I don't actually hear God. I download information. So even though I say that I can hear things from spirit, that doesn't mean that I'm actually audibly hearing anything. So thank you for the follow. It really boils down to, are you meditating? Are you getting to know your energy? Well, I'm just saying, I get why you're asking, but it's, the answer is really loaded, because like I said, I had an expectation, because we talk about clairaudience, and I had an expectation of that I was going to audibly hear voices in my ear. But really, spirit doesn't operate from the five senses. Spirit doesn't operate from the clairs. That's a human vessel thing. So if you are questioning why you can't hear from God, are you distracting yourself? Whether it be with work, school, social media, too many obligations. Because if you're spending more time on social media than you are actually meditating and getting to know your spirit team and all of those things, then it's going to be more challenging to hear. And most times people are hearing from spirit, but you dismiss it, because it may be what some people would consider a wild thought, or something that isn't, it could be something that isn't orthodox. It could be something that is outlandish. I keep saying, this is for entertainment purposes only, there are reincarnated ancient deities. So just imagine walking around here and having it dropped in your head that you're the reincarnation of Anubis. I mean, I just picked somebody because I love me some Anubis. But most people would be like, oh, hell no, I ain't no damn, reincarnation of Anubis, and, denying it or whatever. But, and, there is psychosis, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's not a real thing. So the importance, the main thing about hearing from spirit is being grounded and doing your meditation. Why are you smiling, Theo? Is that a smile? I think it is. My eyesight is atrocious. You're welcome. Thank you for the reposts. And I mean, I just said what I said to you, and here are the cards to back up what I said. Not being able to hear from spirit. This the Ace of Swords in the reverse. And having too many burdens. So spirit brought the cards out right on time. And like also too, this is the energy of focusing in areas that are insignificant. A lot of people are in this energy because not just because they're taking on too many tasks or have too many responsibilities. A lot of times it's because you're overdoing whatever it is. Like if it could be a minuscule task at work, that you're like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. I don't know why I have to come to this job, and it's just like making a fucking list. Bitch, make the fucking list. You spending all that time and energy agonizing over shit you know you're gonna do because your ass need the job. This is a regular part of your job. And even if it's not, even if it's a new task, what you gonna do? Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna quit? Or just go look for another job? I mean, and then it's like giving the energy of, and I'm not saying this is you, Kels. I'm just saying that it's giving the energy of you're not satisfied with your salary. You're not satisfied with the type of job that you're doing, but you don't want to go back to school. You don't want to go through the process of looking for another job. Like everything is a damn complaint. You can really burden yourself like this by complaining about dumb, irrelevant, petty shit. And so that kind of ties back into the conversation that I was having about spiritualists. Because I'm not as fit as I want to be. Hey, Roger. I'm not as fit as I want to be. Can I stand to lose some weight? Absolutely. Do I know that I'm an emotional eater? 1000%. Am I going to sit here in front with y'all about it? No. Do I know that I have struggled with my weight intentionally because I know that a lot of people suffer from that? And will I be able to speak to it? Yes. But I don't just get up here looking a hot mess. Now, granted, this is the ugly part of my micro lock journey. So don't judge me, judge your mama. Okay? No disrespect if your mama's not here. My mama did. Okay? But I'm saying that you need to pay attention to how spiritualists present themselves, how they talk to the people who are in their lives, how they look. If somebody is claiming to be this powerful person who does powerful rituals that impact lives, and you're paying them to do this ritual for you, but they broke, busted, and disgusted. Huh? Theo, I'm messing with y'all. I'm not here to be disrespectful. But like we really have to think about that shit. I'm not ready to start popping off with doing a bunch of rituals for people because I need to master that shit for myself first. You should be questioning when a motherfucker get up here claiming to be a shaman or whatever the fuck they claiming to be, and there is zero evidence in their life. We are all working toward a goal. Yes. Nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. But the point that Spirit is trying to make is that you have more power over your own spell work on yourself. I don't advocate for doing spell work on anyone but yourself for your upliftment, your enlightenment, your elevation. I tell people all the time, do beauty spells on yourself. You can speak into your skincare products. I don't care if them shits is from the Dollar Tree. If you believe that you're a magician and a shaman and you want to speak into your beauty products and let it transform your skin, you know, I mean, you can ask the divine to download recipes for skincare for you. No, like every now and then I get ideas and I'm like, aloe vera. That would probably make for some really good skincare. And if I ate it, because I mean, there is aloe vera juice, and I get aloe vera juice with pulp in it. So, so there's just a lot of different things. And I'm really not trying to judge people. I have to say what Spirit asked me to say, because there are some very bona fide, powerful spiritualists out here that could very well claim them to be shamans, because I've encountered them and they have read me and uncovered things that a lot of different readers don't uncover. But if you're out here claiming to be a shaman and doing things for people that you're not able to do for yourself, I'm like, what's going on here? Is this a money grab? What we doing? You said aloe vera mixed with orange juice, 4 ounces of aloe vera and orange juice once a day does wonders. Oh, really? Okay. All right, now, are you talking about that nasty aloe vera juice that you can buy in the big jug at Walmart? Because I've been dreading drinking that. I'm thinking the orange juice might mask that flavor, but that thing is nasty. Okay, mix it with orange juice. Okay, I'm going to try that. Because I have bought some aloe vera juice, but I know it's not the greatest because it is sweet and it tastes good. You said orange juice that I like. Okay, thank you for that. That's a good idea. And I feel like this is largely what I've been talking about as far as these spiritualists holding themselves out to be. Amber, hey, both of y'all, cut it out. Hey, Onyx. Do you need me to come over there and pop your butt? Hey. Cut it. They over here biting each other. You said you believe in herbal medicine diet. Yes, I do too. I know that I'm not ready. What the hell is a violation? Somebody hating on me. It's flagged for harassment and bullying. Go ahead. Whoever was watching me didn't like what I said. And I said what I said because the divine told me to say it. So take it up with the divine, ho. So anyway, like I was saying, I was just talking about spiritualists being in this fucked up ass energy. Because if you are the King of Cups in reverse, you would be out here talking crazy to people who you want to sit in your live and tap the damn screen and pay you money for fucking spell work. And pay your monkey ass for readings. But you out here treating people like shit and talking crazy to them. Folks is wild for that. Thank you for the gifts. Folks is wild because I'm not paying nobody my money that's talking to me crazy. When I deliver these messages, I'm not talking to my collective. Now, if somebody from somebody else's collective just decides to come on up in here or watch me from outside the live, I don't give a damn what you think. I'm going to tell you about yourself because 9 times out of 10, my collective has to suffer because your janky ass is out here trying to damn harm people. And I'm always suspicious of a spiritualist that doesn't seem to have much victory in their life, but they doing all of these rituals for other people who are paying them money. Because when you pay for a ritual, you are giving that person permission to play in your energy. If you are not using your discernment, your intuition, downloads from spirit to decipher who you should connect your energy to, you are on a slippery slope to hell. And I use the word hell lightly. People will read what they sow. Very much so. Very much so. And like I said, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm not saying that there aren't powerful readers out here. But if you're going to be a powerful reader and you aren't displaying if you're not allowing the divine to operate through you, through your voice, through your energy, through how you treat people, that's a problem. The divine does not support that. You may be out here powerfully operating in your gifts, but if you on some bullshit, the divine is not going to support that. So instead of you being blessed by the divine for using your gifts for the highest and best good of the collective, you're gonna be constantly out here emotionally bankrupt, projecting your pain onto other people, dumping, spirit is saying, unloading your pain into rituals involving innocent parties. Is what I'm saying harassment, or what the fuck you doing harassment, ho? Spirit said there are unsuspecting people out here who, and I like to, when in the upright, I like to talk about the fact that these cups are behind this person because that is like representative of the divine standing behind you, guiding and protecting you and loving you. But when it's in the reverse and you don't realize how much power you have, how much protection you have, how much the divine loves you, it's very easy to get caught up in somebody who is displaying the type of raggedy ass love and compassion that you're used to. Spirit said the world does not have any clue of what true unconditional love looks like. Because the world is so used to fake ass love from people who are operating in their full power and authority. If you in king status, now this is not enlightenment. This is not full on ascended master energy, but you working with some shit. If you a spiritualist and you have made it to the King of Cups level of your spiritual work, you working with something. But that working with something in the reverse and out here confusing people, burdening them instead of helping them. Do you know when you connect yourself to like collective rituals, you could potentially be taking on the burdens of everybody in that fucking ritual. If that spiritualist is using their gifts to burden people, you're going to end up getting the worst of the worst of the worst of all the energy that's swirling. So proceed with caution. Because there's some people out here that the devil won't even come near with a 10 fucking foot pole. At least if you like this, you working for them. If you out here like this, and the devil is like, whoa, I don't want to be in that much shit. Because the devil or the dark part of source is still source, baby. These folks be wanting people to give up on life. Give up fighting, give up pursuing their dreams and their gifts, especially, and the most dangerous people out here are the most powerful seers. Because I promise you, every time you interact with them, they see your name, they do rituals for you, or whatever. They see you. Now, granted, the divine will cloak you. The divine will cloak your energy. Don't get it twisted. But they will reveal just enough to trigger that person's insecurity, jealousy, hatred, competitiveness. They will allow them to see just enough to trigger childhood trauma. Oh, and don't let you be attractive. And the person that you're dealing with is on the struggle bus. And I say that very lightly because I'm the type of person where I'm like, you know what? If that person maybe got some, did some skincare, got some braces, and maybe lost some weight or something, they would have a whole different look. So just because you out here looking toe up today doesn't mean that you can't glow the fuck up tomorrow. So that's a message for someone, because somebody out here then got played in their face about how they look, and spirit said, fuck them. And the fucking bus they rode in on. Because more than likely, they on the fucking bus, bitch. You said that's what I do for a living. What is it that you do for a living? Like skincare? And I was just talking about people's looks. Oh, women over 50 glow up. Okay. Y'all hit up Virgo Mother Earth and let her hook you up. I'm almost there. Not quite, but I'm almost there. So I was just talking about people's looks. And here we have the hermit who looks within. When you don't take care of your appearance on the surface, on the outside that everybody sees, what the hell do you think it looks like on the inside of that person? And I'm not, judging or talking about anyone who may have like a medical condition, thyroid stuff going on. There's just a lot of different things. Insulin resistance. One of my go-to emotional foods is sweets. So I'm not sitting here in judgment. I'm just talking about the fact that I can love myself regardless of what the fuck y'all think. I'm going to take care of myself regardless of what my damn budget looks like. Because, like I said, as long as there's a damn Dollar Tree and they sell skincare products and makeup, you can make your look pop, baby, for $20 fucking dollars. And there's a lot of natural things, I'm sure Virgo can tell you. Coconut oil is amazing. And so, like, people can say whatever they want to say about me. And I may not look, my best at all times. My house may not be OCD clean at all times. But I make a concerted effort to make sure that I am representing the divine to the best of my ability. And that's what I'm really talking about. You say you look good. Thank you. Magnesium will change your whole life, men and women. Oh, for real. I've been looking at isn't there like a magnesium complex here on TikTok? I was looking at I be look I have a problem with supplements. Like I have a cabinet full of supplements and I need to really take the supplements. I have a like especially with pills, I have a problem with pills. Like, you know. So yeah, and I was talking about how people try to do these rituals and plan destructive things for people. And a lot of times, people like unsuspecting people who don't know much about spirituality, who don't know much about rituals, who don't know much about anything. These are the most vulnerable people. These are the people most taken advantage of. And like I tell people all the time, don't tell me or any other reader too much information, because if you give the person who's doing your reading too much information, they're just going to read you based on what you're telling them, and it's always going to resonate. People are masters at confusion, masters of confusion, masters of illusion. And spirit is like, we trying to warn y'all, don't be out here getting hoodwinked and bamboozled. We got the Queen of Cups and the damn King of Cups. So this is basically like giving the masculine and feminine, the compassionate, humanitarian, loving, respectful parts of your masculine and feminine that you're not using for the good of the collective, whoever I'm talking to. That's some crazy shit. Both came out in reverse. But Spirit said, for those of the collective who are doing the right thing, treating the community well, sharing your gifts, sharing your wealth, giving back to the community, being a humanitarian, you're going to be celebrating with your collective. Because your collective is going to be the group of people who have been used and abused and fucking taken advantage of by these damn kings and queens of cups in reverse. This is also giving your run-of-the-mill bootleg pastor. That's what it's giving. Because these people are masters of composing a sermon, stringing a bunch of words together, being fake charismatic. And the charisma and the narcissism is what puts them in this energy, because it's nothing but fake love. This energy doesn't even believe in what they're doing. And this can happen with spiritualists too. I've seen it happen. Very powerful spiritualists who are held to a higher standard, who should know better, but they out here in this fucked up ass energy harming people. And people are already burdened and bogged down mentally and emotionally. So you're just gonna take your gifts, your charisma, your intellect, and you're going to let ego, hustle, the desire to, be rich and famous or whatever, you're going to let that override how the divine sees you interact with their people who are actually here on a mission? Nah. Spirit said, nah, homie. Maybe in high school you was the man, but nah. And Spirit said, these people are being brought to justice and they are going to have to admit to their sins. We're talking about repentance. Like, the image that they're giving me is like people kneeling down and putting their face in the dirt, trying to please the divine. And like, I'm hearing the word giving penance or something like that. I think that's a biblical term. Let me look that up, because I don't even know what that means. Damn. It says penance is a voluntary act of self-denial, prayer, or charity performed to make satisfaction of sins and reorder one's life after receiving forgiveness. I'm a little shook, because I heard the word penance. I don't know what that is. And this is the answer based on what the fuck I was just talking about. Whoever's in here, if y'all could like this live and share it and repost, honey, because I'm not really sure what just happened. And this is, this is part of penance. This came out with the Seven of Swords in reverse, and this is part of penance. Is reorder one's life after receiving forgiveness. So one of the hardest like aspects of karma to have to deal with is being trapped in your head. I don't wish this on anyone, because this is like, instead of your mama giving you a whooping and getting it over with, this is long lasting, long standing. And like I said, the divine is downloading information to us all the time. So if you are stuck in your head and you're thinking about nothing but gloom and doom, you need to do some evaluation. You need to do some introspection. Because if you cannot help thinking about gloom and doom or whatever, or your life not being safe, or you not being okay, or your thoughts are just in complete chaos, at some point down the line, you may just have spoken that or did some kind of ritual over someone else's life to be in that energy. And let me tell you, spiritualists love, when I say love, they love putting people in this energy. Why? Because it makes it more difficult for you to hear from the divine. And this came out in reverse. So it makes it more challenging to hear from the divine when spiritualists are out here scrambling your damn thoughts. And Spirit already said that you are divinely guided and protected. So if Spirit allows anything to come near you, to challenge you, to affect you in any way, it's for a specific purpose. Always know that, because I'm too protected for anything, what society would consider negative, for anything negative to happen to me and it not be in divine order and divine timing. And I am still protected. I'm still loved. I'm still adored by the divine. And so are you. But Spirit is like, people are going to have to repent. They're going to have to change their ways. They're going to have to repent and then change their ways. And Spirit is like, I'm not speaking anything but healing unto you. Healing from the things that people have tried to heap upon you in order to get you off of your square. Do you see those four wands, how they're positioned? It looks like it could potentially be a square. Spirit said people have tried to hurt you and knock you off of your square so that you can't get to this Four of Wands energy. But the divine, like I said, has always been guiding you, always been protecting you, will always work to heal you. You said they need to start by doing shadow work and heal the inner child. Absolutely. 1000%. But Spirit is like, we're going to give people one more opportunity. And this is for entertainment purposes only, but I'm going to almost bet. I'm going to bet that there is going to be I want to say cataclysmic event, but what I really want to say is Jesus gonna crack that sky. I mean, for all we know, Jesus, the reincarnation of Jesus, the return of Jesus may already be walking around among us. But I promise you, when this energy is revealed, People are going to be on their hands and knees with their face in the dirt repenting. And I am not a churchy person. I don't like intertwining church shit with cards and energy and spirituality. But spirit has been having me blend the two worlds quite a bit lately, because there is significance to certain aspects of the Bible. But spirit is like, these people are going to be brought to their knees. And when I say brought to their knees, like, we're talking about publicly. So for the people who have been maintaining a pure heart and continuing to do right by others and themselves, they're not going to have to worry about that. But these other people who must repent, they're going to be publicly humiliated. I hate to say. Like I said, for those of us who have been doing what we were supposed to do, it's now time to chill. The hard part is over. Get your rest, because your wish fulfillment is on the horizon. Do you see all that sun in the background? Spirit said your wish fulfillment is on the horizon. Be prepared to wake up one morning. Yes, I said morning. I was trying to figure out how to fucking say grand rising, bitch. But for lack of better terms, we gonna say prepare to go to sleep and rest and wake up a damn billionaire. This is giving overnight success. I'm hearing joy cometh in the morning. Joy cometh. Yeah, traditional religion. All of these fake ass spiritualists, fake ass teachers, fake ass spirit guides, all of these people are going to be brought to justice in a very public manner. Because the divine has been telling me for months now about how traditional religion is about to be destroyed. And I'm not gonna cap for y'all. When Spirit was telling me that, I was like, y'all tripping. I don't know what the fuck y'all mean by that. Because with the way that the world is entrenched in traditional religion, especially different sects of Christianity, I said Jesus is gonna have to crack the sky in order for that to happen. Because I just cannot see. I can scratch that. I can see it, because I'm just a different bird. When they were first telling me, I was like, that's a monumental task, and I feel like only Jesus, him or herself, is going to be able to handle that one. Because it's going to take someone in a meat suit, in a vessel, displaying the types of miracles, signs, and wonders that Jesus displayed back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean way back in the day. And I use the term Jesus lightly because I know that can sometimes trigger people, especially that who are spiritualists, church hurt, stop going to church for whatever reason. But there are many, 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 many names of source. And I talk about the difference between human vessels and human form. Human vessels expire, human form does not. So when you hear about people like Tahuti ruling over empires for 35,000 years, that is source in human form that does not expire. I mean, on some real shit, like the person who's going to destroy traditional religion is gonna have to be on some Enoch shit. Gonna have to be on some Enoch, like literally flying up into the sky with some wings and damn turning to Metatron. Something. And I know that the divine can do it. The divine said we have no problems doing whatever the fuck it is we need to do, bitch. We have, as the Spirit said, we have absolutely positively not one hold up, problem, issue doing what needs to be done. And that includes whatever needs to be done in your personal life. Are you willing to have radical childlike faith in what the divine can do for your life? Because Spirit said y'all gonna have to have some money in order to make changes in the world. We need people who are going to do right by the money, get financial advisors, find excellent attorneys to help them manage everything, and to show others how to do the same thing. Spirit is saying that this type of life right here has been so gatekept, has been so gatekept by 1%. And has the majority of society looking like this. That's why you can't hear from Spirit. If you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to your first 10-hour shift job, just to leave that job and then go to a part-time job, in between jobs, you may be trying to catch a power nap or something like that. How in the hell are you going to meditate? How are you going to eat well? I mean, it's possible to eat well if you prep your food and all that stuff. But most times it's very tempting for people that work multiple jobs, have a ton of shit going on in their life, to just grab something from the drive-thru right quick. Guilty. Because by the time, even if you have the weekend off, you're trying to recuperate from the week on Saturday. And then by Sunday, you still don't want to do shit. You just want to relax. At the bare minimum, you're going to wash clothes and maybe clean up a little bit. But other than that, where are you getting the energy to do anything else? Where are you getting the energy to go grocery shopping and meal prep and cook? People are burdened and distracted from who they are, from their connection to the divine. These ones right here are like a barrier between him and the divine, because the divine is all around us. So that's representative spirit is saying of like a veil, because the veil doesn't have to be from here to up there. Like, we've been told that heaven and spirit is up there, but it could really just be a veil sitting right here in front of you, and the your spirit team, the divine, all them people over there on the other side of the veil, but you can't see beyond the veil because you in this energy. You laying on the veil. You're leaning on the veil to hold your ass up because you are so fucking exhausted. Yeah, just like feeling like the world is constantly against you. Feeling like nothing goes in your favor. Feeling like as soon as you get ahead, the next thing you know, you got to replace a tire. As soon as you get ahead and you develop some savings, next thing you know, you gotta daggone rebuild your transmission. And God forbid if you have to use a card to do your job, because we all know that these app things do not pay well. I used to do Instacart faithfully. So it's wear and tear on your car, it's gas, and it takes, if you're not a really, really fast shopper, it's going to take you way longer than what you're getting paid. Because if you're not able to make more than $20 an hour doing Instacart, it's not even worth it. Because with, like I said, with the time, with the gas, with all that stuff. We have the Ten of Swords and we have the Six of Wands. I feel like this is the glow up right here. From feelings of complete failure to success, public recognition. Like, the glow up is real. Spirit said people left your monkey ass for dead. Do you hear me? When people leave you for dead, it's to cover up their own shit. Like, maybe they did something to you or gave you something that caused you to be in this position. So they just, dump you, leave you somewhere where nobody can find you before it's too late. But Spirit's like, if we resurrect people from the dead, do you think we're going to have a problem getting our beloved out of this predicament? And that's why you got people shook, because they left you for dead and you were not supposed to be able to recover. And as soon as I said that, my AC came on. But Spirit said, the best revenge is your paper. Your paper meaning your public recognition, your success. your testimony. Spirit is like, we gonna keep these people alive and well so that they can get on their knees and bow down to the queen and the king. He said, do you believe in reincarnation? 100 million zillion percent. And when you asked about reincarnation, I've been talking about Jesus, and here we have the Son. The resurrection of the Son. Spirit said, you have no idea the amount of happiness, joy, excitement, luxury, outlandish, amazing experiences and opportunities you're about to have. People are going to be giving you the royal treatment everywhere you go. You are going to be in a position where you are going to be doing nothing but all of the luxurious, did I say luxurious? Luxury? Did I say luxurious? Luxurious, exquisite experiences in life. The type of experiences that only the 1% really know about. Like those special skin and scrub treatments that have the Dead Sea salt and daggone collagen, and hell, might have some damn cord blood. Because you know, cord blood is used for the T-cell cancer treatment, which pretty much heals the person. Those types of treatments are reserved for the elite because most insurances will not cover that type of treatment. And, you know, only the elite can pay between $500,000 and $1 million for a treatment. You said purpose to fulfill? Absolutely. And we've been talking about like inner child, having childlike faith. And we have a white horse. A white horse is like a spirit guide, a divine spirit guide. We're in the year of the fire horse. I don't know what else is hotter than the sun. Oh, and I just realized the Queen of Wands came out. So yeah, spirit needs people who are integrity filled. Like I said, people who they can bless with an overflow. But you see how this person has a bird, like basically they're holding a bird, and the birds are intuition. So spirit is like, we want the people who have been chosen for a higher calling, we want them to be fully equipped financially because they have proven to be reliable, trustworthy, honest, forthcoming people, upstanding individuals. They don't mince their words. They're not playing games to create illusions in your mind. Yeah, these half-ass spiritualists. Like I said, they will have a lot of gifts, be very creative, very talented. But honey, if they are misusing their gifts, if they're giving people poor quality of work, because this is the thing, if you're going to charge for something, you should be giving quality. That doesn't always mean a bunch of quantity, but it means quality. Like when people pay me for a live reading, my expectation for how I exchange my energy for how they gave me some of their energy, I'm going to give them all of the information. Like, this is not a bait and switch type situation. This is not clickbait. So if yes, my readings on live are dramatically reduced from my readings in private. So this is an effort for me to put myself out there, to practice being seen, to practice, people coming against me and how I respond to that and navigate that. And yes, I do want to be compensated for my time and energy because this does take a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm working for the divine. I'm not about to sit here and take advantage of people because I don't believe that the divine is going to provide me my abundance. And so it's such a conundrum when someone who is highly spiritual in the high priestess energy, you are powerfully operating in your gifts, but at the same time, something inside of you is telling you to acquire earthly wealth through humanly earthly means. I'm not talking about people who use this as their full-time jobs per se. If you're out here like using your gifts to hustle people, so you give them like, a little sample of what you could do, and then that you're good, so you have figured out a like daily hustle. You said shit, you need Jesus. Okay. Now I done lost my train of thought. Go ask your spirit guides who I am. Anywho. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? This is a prime example of a distraction. You said, sister, don't play into their confusion. Yeah, I just let that person distract me, but that's basically what the collective has been about. And it's been like every live that I've come on in the last couple of weeks, there's always one person like that in my comments who is a actual display of what I've been talking about in the collective. So this goofball comes in here and says, shit, you need Jesus. Well, first of all, a Bible thumper is not going to use the word shit and Jesus in the same sentence. So I already know you full of shit. But when I get on here prepared to be called a demon. I get on here being prepared to be called everything but a child of God. And that shit does not move me because I know who I am. Spirit said, which one of my babies did this dude try to play? Which one of my babies did this individual try to breadcrumb and get you entangled in their emotions as a distraction? Because since we're talking about distractions, romantic relationships can be the source of a tremendous distraction. If you let in these Knight of Cups disturb this peace that you have established, this is the energy of someone who is more focused on their craft, bitch, than any relationship. Any half-ass relationship at that. Any half-ass offer. Spirit said, you will send this person packing so damn fast as soon as they come in and even attempt to play with your damn emotions. Because, baby, the Queen of Pentacles said, my creativity, me building my business and my empire, me cultivating and developing my gifts and leveling up even more each day is way more important than your raggedy ass offer. And Spirit said, this is self-made energy. She's holding that pentacle and there is no one else around her. That is self-made. That's a boss. This, and when I say boss, I don't mean just somebody with a reckless ass mouth and a nasty ass attitude bossing people to fuck around. I'm talking about a boss who carries him or herself with as if they know that they're royalty. Royalty does not insult, disrespect, or come against anyone. They let people implode on each other. Sis is like, fight amongst yourselves. Because I'm sitting on my throne and all of my power and all of my leadership energy. in all of this money that I have cultivated over time? And Spirit is like, you may be a little bit older, but you always right on time, Auntie. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Cups. And I feel like Spirit is like, no more dealing with these juggling ass people. You have to set boundaries with these juggling ass, unbalanced ass, janky ass offers. Why would you miss out on the 10 of Cups? Complete wish fulfillment for this janky ass offer. Yeah, like, and this is what Spirit is talking about in all aspects of our life. Hey, why do y'all do this as soon as I get on live? Ani, stop. Onyx, stop. Hey, cut it out. Cut it out. So again, a damn distraction. But, you know, Spirit is like, you know, we were talking about spiritualists earlier. This could be romantic relationships. This could be relationships with people at work or just, you know, places that you frequent. If people are really like just can't get past their issues, you know, there's an imbalance in their masculine and feminine. Their feminine feels unprotected, feels taken advantage of. So, like, instead of being poured into, in the reverse, you're being taken advantage of. Taking your kindness for weakness, making you a fucking option. I don't care if we are platonic girlfriends or if I'm in a romantic relationship or anything like that. If you about to sit here and think that you about to juggle me with other people, no, I need friends that are committed to our friendship. Not fair weather friends, not people that come around every now and again, and not people who only text you once a year on Christmas and shit like that. I'm not talking about people who are negative and just stay being judgmental. I'm not talking about those people. Those are the people that you should be cutting off no matter what the relationship, whether that be, you know, parent child, siblings. I feel like there's some siblings out here that have been doing you dirty. Like I was saying earlier, fake ass love. You know, people, there are people that will do stuff for you, but resent the fact that they have done something for you. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't get it. Like, why the fuck are you offering to do shit for me if you're just going to resent me later? And I'm not talking about just borrowing money or anything like that, but it's like, why are you calling me and offering to take me out to dinner or lunch, or, when we go to the store, you buying stuff for me and then you just resent it later? Don't do that. You be better off just not doing shit. Because when you do stuff like that to someone, especially like an empath, someone very tapped into the energy, we feel all that shit. So whether you're intending to burden us or not, we still feel it. We still interpret the energy. We see when someone is full of shit from a mile away. You said because that narcissist. Right. We have the Justice card and we have the Star in reverse. Yeah, like I said, people with powerful spiritual gifts using it for craziness. And Spirit said, justice has arrived. And Spirit said, especially these people who are starseeds, who are governed by the Galactic Council. I've never heard them say governed by the Galactic Council. But baby, when you are governed by the Galactic Council, I want to see if Google has anything to say about that. Please tell me, Google. Basically, they're talking about you pledge allegiance to the Galactic Council, not to use your gifts for evil. So if you're going against the Galactic Council, that's why I said spiritualists are held to a higher standard. And if spiritualists are out here destroying the community, using their gifts in a negative way, they're going to be handled and dealt with in a way more severe capacity than the average ignorant person. Because these people know firsthand how powerful their gifts are, how miraculous their gifts are. They know full well that they are star beings. They know full well that they are here on a specific mission and purpose. And the Galactic Council is like, oh yeah. So, like, this is your contract. Section 2, subsection A, 1 and 2. Thou shalt not use my spiritual gifts for evil. And this is why you've had to encounter these people. Because when you're walking karma, when you are walking justice, you are here to give tests to the most powerful divine beings on this planet. The most significant, the most serious type of test that any human vessel will ever endure is the one that the karmic justice gives them. as soon as they encounter them. That is one of the hardest, most powerful, most life-changing, most life-altering encounters you can ever have in your life. And that's why I will always say, you better treat everybody you encounter as if you are interacting with Source in a human vessel, because you never know who that person is. Like I said, you never know who that person is. That's why the title of this message was "Do Not Judge a Book by Its Cover." This is the energy of the underdog. That individual that used to get bullied, maybe literally tied up, blindfolded, taken advantage of. Because when people are bullies and they know that you are a kind individual and you don't like confrontation and you're not out here bothering nobody, you just want to be cool with people, you want to laugh and play and enjoy life. But all these people got you in a damn chokehold, like you can't get away from this, like you're bound to it. This is the energy of somebody who is starting to believe what the fuck they hear. This is the energy of somebody being told, you're not going to be successful. You're going to be just like your deadbeat, boop, boop, fill in the blank. You're never going to amount to anything. You're always going to be a fuck up in life. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not handsome enough. You don't make enough money. The energy of, oh, you think that you're going to be jet setting first class and in private jets and doing luxury things? I don't think so. It's really giving the energy of a Cinderella story. It's really giving the energy of like an evil stepmother and evil stepsisters who had you out here thinking that you're Cinderella. Mind you, what happened to Cinderella? What was I talking about earlier? The fucking glow up. The glow up is going to be astronomical. Spirit said a table will be set before your enemies. Because all these swords that these motherfuckers tried to throw at you and fuck with your head, Spirit said you're going to use them to cut your Wagyu beef. Oh, you'll be using that to, if you're a vegan, you're going to be cutting your oyster mushroom. Because people will make you feel less than. Even if they don't say it directly to you, people who are not happy with themselves or their life or their circumstances have this marvelously meticulous way of tearing somebody down in an indirect way. And Spirit said, for some people, this is also the energy of not being able to take correction well. I don't know where the hell that came from, but that's a message for somebody. If you are not able to take correction well, and you get balled up and pissed off and throw a temper tantrum every time somebody has to correct you or let you know that you fucked something up, that's an opportunity to learn and grow and do better for next time. Anytime I'm learning something new that I have to remember, I put the information in a place that I can access easily, quickly, and um, you know, where I'm going to be doing that type of work. Because it ends up saving you so much time in the long run. So much time and stress. It's like if you would just go by the guidelines to begin with, when someone looks at your work or the quality of what you're producing, there's not going to be a whole lot of issues because you've done the work ahead of time. Most people are like just haphazardly doing shit and then like create more work for themselves. So if you had done the pre-work that takes 5 minutes, it would save you the 2 hours of work on the back end fixing the shit or sifting through all of it that you don't even need to be having to sift through if you had done it right on the front end. And it's the same MF at your job that's like, yeah, I need to be making more money, yo. I need to be doing something better. I need to be paid my worth and value. Excuse me? Yeah, we got the High Priestess in the reverse and the Tower card. What did I say? That these people that were using their gifts for evil were going to face judgment and have to um, give penance? This crazy word. So I had looked up. I had to Google what is being governed by the Galactic Council, and the answer it came up with was the Galactic Council typically acts as a supreme, often unlike governing body over vast, multiple species territories, responsible for interstellar law, diplomatic negotiations, and military peacekeeping across multiple star systems. I'm going to say that again. The Galactic Council is a supreme governing body over vast multi species territories responsible for interstellar law, diplomatic negotiations, and military peacekeeping actions across multiple star systems. And I've been talking about transfer of wealth, a changing of the guard. I've been talking about the divine taking back over this planet. They manage trade, enforce treaties between worlds, and maintain a centralized military to protect member civilizations. And it says, as seen in Transformers Wiki and Voidborn Wiki. I might need to go check out Transformers Wiki. And I encourage you all to do the same. Because apparently it is a snapshot of what the Galactic Council does. Do y'all understand? Are y'all understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? Are you understanding, understanding, whatever standing? Are you getting the magnitude? Are you getting the magnitude of being governed by the Galactic Council? Key functions of the Galactic Councils across various universes. You know, this is for entertainment purposes. Interstellar legislation. And now, mind you, Google is pulling information from like cartoons, you know, it mentioned Transformers, pulling information from, you know, anime probably, and all of these supposedly made up fictitious make-believe stories. Well, the truth is hidden in plain sight, ladies and gentlemen. And I talked about don't judge a book by its cover in the beginning. And where do people hide information? In books and in movies. So in many contexts, this is the interstellar legislation. And in many contexts, they create laws for interspecies relations, ethical warfare, and trade, acting as a mediator for disputes between different systems. Peacekeeping and defense. They often control a central navy or peacekeeping force. What have I been talking about? The peacekeeping force. May the force be with you. The people who are humanitarians, the people who just want to live their life and mind their business and mind the business that pays them. Here to do the work for the Galactic Council. So it says sector representation. They act as a centralized body for delegates from numerous worlds to debate issues. So yeah, like the Galactic Council is not to be fucked with. Do you hear me? And damn, we've got the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. Do you know what this shit means for like delays and setbacks for people who are operating in this High Priestess energy in reverse? So, I mean, and a lot of times these people are trying to slow other people down. And that's what I was talking about. When you let people do spell work and rituals over you, even if it's positive, like will enhance your life, they can be infusing into that ritual delays for your life, delays for your life that will speed up theirs, is what I'm hearing. People are using collective energy in an effort to slow people down in order to speed their lives up. Don't let them do it to you. But Spirit said, them delays and setbacks that's about to set in. Yeah, Spirit said, the more they came against you, made you feel insignificant, left you in the cold, the more that shit powered you up. It's giving divine mother energy, not just mother energy, but divine mother energy. I'm hearing the divine mother gave birth to the world. Okay. So, what else do you want to say about that, Spirit? I'm hearing the divine mother is the head of the galactic council. Let me let that marinate. We have the moon in reverse and the three of wands. So I feel like it's, a lot of moving past fear and illusions. Illusions can give you anxiety. And I feel like moving from that energy of like uncertainty, anxiety, not knowing which way to go, not making the best choices, um, moving out of that energy and more moving toward who you are, because like this person is holding on to that wand, which is energy, and so it's like getting to know your energy, starting to feel your energy. knowing and distinguishing your energy from others. And so I feel like the wand that he's got his hand on is his energy, and then the other wands are the energies of other people. And so it's like getting to know his energy as well as others. They be just out here dang on wilding. Yeah, I mean, this is just more delays. This is being like stagnant, no forward movement, no motion. And like Spirit is saying, this is kind of interesting, but Spirit is saying that when you close cycles, it's like adding wheels to your, they calling it a carriage. But it's given the image, the imagery is similar to like a chariot. So if you're not out here closing cycles, you're not, you can best believe that you don't not having any forward movement, because you need those tires in order for your vehicle to move forward. So it's just like the image that they're showing me is like, imagine a car with only one wheel. Only one wheel, one tire on the damn car. That car ain't going nowhere. I mean, it might go somewhere, but you gonna fuck up the damn rotors, and the bottom of the car gonna be scraping and all that shit. If it would even move. I'm thinking it will, but I don't know cars that well. Um, so the more cycles you close, the more tires and wheels you add to your chariot to move you forward. And these spiritualists definitely come against these emperors too. We have the emperor and the empress. And I feel like there has been someone that is trying to spiritually intervene in this divine mother and this emperor coming together in union. And this is a very significant union. And so what happens is, like, let's say this empress gives readings. Not that the empress needs readings, but let's just say you're a very powerful being and you're on TikTok and you decide to get a reading. When someone is an unscrupulous reader, is what I'm hearing, they will see you in this relationship. They'll see you as the empress. They'll see your person, your divine life partner as the emperor. They will see y'all coming together quickly. And they'll just get right in the middle of it on this bullshit and try to slow it down. Because they're not happy with their relationship. They in a relationship stuck with a damn karmic that they did spell work on to obtain. And they come in, spirit is saying, because the horse is like a spirit guide, like spirit, a representative of spirit. They're using their spiritual gifts. They're calling on the divine to try to stop you from being in your divine union. That's crazy work. First of all, when I do readings on live or readings in general, I do have a notebook that I write down, information that I want to tell the person. But a lot of the reading is more of me talking like this to the person and just reading their energy like this. For me to actually recall exactly what I said to the person or what I saw in that person's energy and make note of that shit and then get off live and go do spell work on that person's energy, that is the craziest work I've ever heard of. Well, maybe not the craziest, but it is truly bordering. What are you doing? Did you swallow something? It's bordering lunacy. Because I like the point of me saying what I said about how I do my readings, there is a slim to no chance that I'm going to revisit what I wrote down about a person. I don't have the energy. This takes a lot of energy as it is for me to get on live. I am not about to go and spend my time and energy trying to see who I read that I can try to come against. Not only would that completely go against everything I believe in, but it's just whack as hell. Like, why wouldn't you have your own identity, your own, independent confidence in who you are? You can't save them all. I said you can't save them all, and the Ace of Pentacles came out. And this is, I feel like Spirit is saying this is representative of like the concept of there being a savior outside of yourself. There is no savior outside of yourself that is going to save your soul. It is only you. Your creativity is embedded in your soul for a reason. You know how the saying goes, when somebody says that somebody sold their soul, 9 times out of 10, it's the person did it in the arena that they're gifted in. Whether that be music, whether that be politics, maybe that is being an attorney. Your creativity is embedded in your DNA. That is how you have always had these gifts from a child. This is not something that is just downloaded into your brain when you hit 21. This is not something that appeared because you had a Kundalini awakening. This is not something that just came online. This has always been you since you were born. And I'm hearing since the beginning of time for some of you old souls. But this is how you have been all the time, all along. And that's why so many people have come against you. Because energetically, they know who you are, even if you don't know who you are. Energetically, people know what your insecurities are and how to push your buttons. I just heard and how to clock your T. My spirit team be trying to get me to say some real whack shit sometime. Not that saying clock that T is whack, but because it's not. Because I know people that say that I love. But I'm just saying, like, in the moment, it was like, because the way my spirit team is set up, it's like it gives the energy like, let's use some slang, like let's use some young people talk. And then I get the saying, and I'm like, y'all is really fucking with me right now. So we have the Three of Pentacles and we have the Temperance card. So I definitely feel like this is speaking to like bringing balance to society, bringing balance to, or bringing equity. So what Spirit is drawing my attention to is like the fact that these people are standing on the ground, but this person is standing on a bench. And so it's kind of like giving this person a leg up so that they're more equitable with the people who can just stand that tall on the ground. And so it doesn't mean that the person has more than these people. There's different levels to what you end up having, but like this person is giving something to stand on because at least their basic needs are met. They're not equivalent to this older couple that has established themselves, built their generational wealth and things like that, but they're in a position to give this person a boost and to then share and collaborate and all of that with this person in order to get them to be the height that they are, you know, metaphorically, proverbially, whatever it is, you know, bringing equity, not equality, but equity, because just as much as they needed to contribute to their success, this other individual has to contribute to their own success. And I feel like it's really giving the energy of like some parents and a child and how you're interacting with your child. Because it's fine to give your children a boost. Like, I think one of the most beautiful things, since we have to deal with credit, I really want to say fuck credit, fuck, you know, a bunch of other shit. But since we have to deal with credit, one of the most beautiful things a parent can do for their child is be a good steward of their money so that they can teach their child how to do the same. Invest their money well, create trust for their family. And if they're good stewards over their money, they know how money works. They know how credit works. They know how credit cards work. So a smart couple is going to like give their child a boost in life by saying, when you go to college, or when you are in high school, we're going to add you as a user to our credit cards. That's for people who actually pay their bills on time and, pay their balances down. Okay. Don't set your children up for failure by giving them raggedy credit before they can even establish their own credit. Okay. Thank you. But I'm talking about like adding your high school teenager to as a user to your credit card, not giving them a credit card. You may give them a credit card when they go to college. I would actually recommend it, because then hopefully that will be a deterrent from your child getting a credit card in school. I'm not saying it will be, but I'm saying if you say this is your credit card, you have a $500 limit, do as you will. Get your Bath and Body Works, get your hair done, get your nails done, go out to eat with your friends. I mean, hell, by the time, depending upon what your nails and hair cost, you might not have much else, but at least you can have that conversation about credit and how it can affect you and what you need to do. And then if they follow your lead enough and say, okay, if they're going to give me $500 a month, I'm only going to use $500 a month, because your child knows you're going to pay the bill. And so that, like, what do you really need when you're in college and especially if you're a freshman and you can't drive or to campus? You eating at the cafeteria more than likely, or somewhere in the area that takes your food card. You're not having to go a bunch of places. You need to stay your little rabbit ass on that campus. Anyway, that was a message for somebody. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse, and we have the Ten of Pentacles in the upright. What are y'all doing? Down. So I feel like this is speaking to the state of society, where we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, but then we have like the representation of generational wealth, family development. But if you are not allowing the divine to enhance you, to fill your cup to the overflow, if you're not able to receive and you're just operating and accumulating this wealth from your human earthly abilities, there's always going to be a cap on it. There's going to be a ceiling, a cap, a limitation. Because spirit is like, there's only but so much humanly possible. Even if you partner with a bunch of other billionaires and millionaires and trillionaires, and you have all these businesses and you have a hand in all these different lines of or streams of income, spirit is like, if you're rejecting the divine, this is when you accept the cup from the divine, that's when you can chill. Like, it's cool. This is cool. I mean, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like that most people want to see the Ten of Pentacles in their reading. I mean, who wouldn't? But if you are having to cultivate this wealth simply by earthly measures, there's not only a good chance that you're going to die doing it because you don't wore yourself out, but there's also a high chance that you're going to end up at some point getting greedy and doing something unscrupulous. selling your soul. Because the spirit is saying we are wired to want more and more and more. There's nothing wrong with that. We're wired to desire more and have more and do more and experience more. That's basically like the heaven on earth syndrome, if you will. But how are you going to truly have heaven on earth if you're not allowing heaven to get involved in your abundance? Spirit said you could be madly in love. You could have, dogs and cats and birds and children, and you could have an in-law suite where you just absolutely love your parents and they're staying close by and everything, money is good, all of that. But the amount of abundance that the divine can give you in comparison, Spirit is like, no eye has seen, no ear has heard the amount of abundance that the divine can pour out on someone. And Spirit is saying there's a lot of people out here who are miserably wealthy, completely emotionally bankrupt, but have all the money in the world. Spirit said that's like dying before you die. Damn. And I feel like Spirit is saying people are delaying the inevitable. One thing about the human vessel life experience, you are going to transition at some point. If your energy is housed in a human vessel, you are going to expire. So if you're just delaying the inevitable, and expiration means literal death and it means spiritual death. So whether you want to have a spiritual death and awakening or a natural, whether you want to have a natural death or not, it's going to happen. And I feel like this Page of Cups is like the representation of the awakening. So like the death and the awakening or new beginning. Yeah, Spirit, we were talking about this earlier, but Spirit is saying that the current regime that is in charge, or regimes, plural, I'm hearing, the current regimes are about to be no more. there will be zero forward movement. They are going to be completely halted and removed. Again, between spirituality and the government, I already know it's going to take an act of God to change either one of those entities. Period. And I said it's going to take an act of God to change either of those entities. This is the divine, the Kundalini awakening, and the two entities that I'm talking about. Hot damn. Well, more confirmation. It's going to take an act of God to change these two entities. And when we talk about entities, we mean the masculine and feminine. We're talking about man and woman. It is going to take an act of God. And especially when you have folks coming against the emperor and the empress that we had come out in the beginning. This emperor and empress is a very significant divine union. We're talking about it's giving like Adam and Eve energy. It's giving Isis and Osiris energy. Okay. Because I've talked about before, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I've talked about before how like the Eve is going to be awakening the masculine. And from, between with in concert with divine intervention, this masculine and feminine, we're talking about within and two different people, but this masculine and feminine that is destined to be together, like there's nothing stopping this union, that came out right after the Two of Cups. This union is going to tear down these two entities that I was talking about. This one particular divine union is going to be the one couple, the lead couple, not saying the only couple or the only divine union, but they're going to be like a lead couple. So would be the lead couple. These would be like secondary couples. But the lead couple is going to be completely changing religion and government as we know it. And look, the Galactic Council is all over it. That caduceus represents healing. It represents the awakening. It represents DNA. It represents the joining of the masculine and feminine. I'm hearing the royal wedding. So they're giving me the image of like Coming to America, where like it's, and the divine union would be Eddie Murphy and the chick that he ended up marrying, but like the karmic union would have been him and homegirl barking on one leg like a dog. Because we need, Spirit is saying we need divine feminines who are not just going to follow directions. We need divine feminines who have their own identity, who can make choices for themselves, who can support their partner without just being a robot. Because he was like, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? And she was like, whatever you like. That's the fucking problem we in right now, is because the feminine has relinquished her power to the masculine. There's an imbalance, and we have a bunch of women who are using their power to be like, whatever you like. Really? Is that what we doing? Spirit said, is that what we doing now? We are giving our power away to people, to energies that we are supposed to be combining with, balancing each other out, healing each other's inner child. How do you do that if you are inauthentically in a relationship with someone? Like, that whole example of Coming to America is giving, I just want a sugar daddy, or I just want an older man that I'm not attracted to take care of me. Now, one thing I always said about Shera, she can tell y'all to go marry an older man and don't care about how he look all the fuck she want to. But James was all right looking. If I was going to be with somebody 20 years my senior, I would be with James. And this is no respect to Shera. I know she's mourning the transition of her husband. I'm not trying to be funny. I am straight up. And what I have also said about Shera 7 is the fact that this chick is teaching people how to live off of a man, but she has built an empire for herself. Confirmation. Sis has built a whole ass empire for herself. Between YouTube, between Facebook, and now TikTok, sis is making bank. She also partners with, companies. She has her own products. She's been selling like her own oils and tinctures or whatever, and blends and crystals and all this other shit. She's Shera 7 on the sugar daddy tip, but she is some other person on the spirituality crystal tip, because she has a whole other I know she has a whole other YouTube channel where she just does like the spirituality stuff. And I'm not hating on sis. I'm just saying, I'm like, I need to be attracted to the person I'm going to be with. And if you are with somebody just because of how they can enhance you financially, and there's no other reason why you're with that person, that's being really super inauthentic. If you have to be inauthentic with the person you're with day in and day out just to be able to tolerate them so that you can have a certain lifestyle, how are you going to be able to focus on learning who you are, discovering what your true purpose is? I mean, I guess I could say that if I was put in that situation and I was that type of person, I would use that free time where I don't have to work, or I'm living in the lap of luxury. I'm going to use that time to develop myself. But everybody is not like me. A lot of other people would use that time to go shopping and travel and, go have brunch with the girls and, do all these other things to distract themselves. Right. Like I said, doing all these things to distract yourself. He's not actively working at this moment when this shot was taken. I'm acting like it's a picture. But he's, you can tell that he's done some work. He's cultivated some things. But at this moment, he's not working. And you could get distracted. This is what Spirit is saying. You could get very distracted just looking at the money. Spirit is saying, when you are with somebody else for their money that they have cultivated out of their creativity, this is how you're looking at the money. It's not even yours. It didn't come from your creativity. You're really not connected to it. So if you're not connected to it and you're not doing the work to grow it, really you just looking at it. You may have an up close and personal view, but you really just looking at it. One thing about Shira, like I said, she was very smart. She used her time of being, well off. Well, I'm not gonna say well off. I think her husband was an engineer or something, so he probably made really good money, like maybe multiple six figures or something. But well off is like money she's making right now. I can only imagine how much money she makes from YouTube alone. So if that's the case, she was probably making way more than him. But the movement is marry you an older man, and she did practice what she preaches. But as far as like just wanting anybody to look any kind of way, she ain't do that. James was all right looking. I feel like Spirit is saying that someone I'm talking to is trying to cultivate a new beginning. But it's like you're looking at the new beginning, you're trying to cultivate it, but because this Page of Swords is in the reverse, you're not aligning with the new beginning. And I feel like it's because you're not really seeing things from a higher perspective. It's like giving the energy of like not really being appreciative of what you've been presented, what you have, the fact that the divine really takes care of you and has always looked out for you. And as soon as I said that, judgment in reverse. So a lot of self doubt, not assured of who you are, not assured of your connection to the divine, the strength in reverse. So just like needing to call your energy back, needing to regain your strength in who you are. I'm hearing your strength in the Lord. experience, like, again, trying to delay an inevitable awakening. Because, like, when you really truly lack, like, self-awareness, it really does weaken you. Your strength is in the knowledge of who you are, is what Spirit is saying. And not knowing your purpose, not, like I said just a minute ago, not being appreciative of the opportunities that you've been presented thus far. Even though, and Spirit is saying, like, even though the opportunity may not have seemed as you wanted it to be, it may have not been the money that you wanted it to be, it may have not been like in the ideal location or whatever, but everything that you do is for a divine purpose. I just said everything you do is for a divine purpose, and here we have the Magician. And like I was just saying, having to go through the bullshit, having to experience life in a way that doesn't look like how you want it to look. But everything has been in divine timing and with a divine purpose. And this is the Page of Wands and in the upright and the King of Wands in reverse. This is giving the energy of like a deadbeat dad or just a bitch ass father. Just not a good example for their children, not a protector. You know, this may be somebody who like maybe throws a little bit of money at the situation, but like they're not really in it to win it with their kids like that. This is giving the energy of like their relationship with their child is determined by like what they can get out of the relationship, which is trifling in a mother. So you mean to tell me that you would use the relationship with your adult children only to your benefit? Yeah, okay. Like a horrible example of a parent. This is also given the energy of like hurting this person's inner child, creating trust issues, abandonment wounds, rejection issues, self-esteem issues. Like just a horrible fucking example for a parent. I be wanting to damn slap the hell out of people like that. Um I feel like the spirit is saying that this person could have been generous. Like they really could have been generous, but they chose not to. This is that energy I was talking about yesterday. Like having the ability to help their child, but because they're like, well, I had to get it out of the mud, so they gonna have to get it out of the mud. Why should I give this person a leg up in life when I didn't have it? Like, get the fuck out of here. All right, y'all. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for hanging out. I am about to get off of here for tonight so I can get to bed at a reasonable hour. All right. See y'all later.